Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Network 216 production of the Faithful Dogs podcast. I am Tyler Johnson, joined by Jack Robinson, Mr. Eddie McDonald. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing on this fine evening?
Doing good. Eddie, it doesn't unmute you automatically.
Every week, I've never figured that out. Every week, I get that, and then I start talking, and I'm just like, huh, okay. I'm doing good, like, personally. Browns-wise, I'm bad.
Yeah.
But it's not all doom and gloom, I don't think. I don't think it's doom and gloom, but
No.
it is just, it's frustrating. That's the word, frustrating.
There you go. Yeah, that is exactly how I would describe it. Of course, guys, before we get into tonight's episode of the show, as a reminder, please just take a second if you would drop a like on the video. Really help that YouTube algorithm grow for Network 216, but also subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, as we are on the push for 3,000 subscribers. We can't do that without your help. Completely free to subscribe. Make sure you don't miss any of the content that Network 216 has to provide. We also are available on the Lockerverse app in the Dog Pound Lounge, so make sure you guys join us over there. If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, whatever the case may be, Lockerverse has a lot of great shows, including Quarterback Unplugged with Browns, quarterback Deshaun Watson, and quarterback coach Quincy Avery. That is only available on the Lockerverse app. Gentlemen, the Browns, like typical when they head over to Mile High Stadium in Denver, just don't play well. They lost this game on Sunday 29-12. Really from the get-go. Once again, started off down 14-0 on the road. I don't know about you guys, but I'll let you guys give your takeaways. But one of my takeaways is this defense, for whatever reason, is night and day when it comes to playing on the road. Because right now, every single time we play on the road, they always get down by 14 points. So, but other than that, what are some of your takeaways from this game?
Yeah, I mean, the defense was a bit of a disappointment. I mean, I don't want to, give them any excuses or anything, but I mean, they were playing in a hostile environment. Mile High is really hard to play in. But it doesn't help that you were down your number one corner. Miles got hurt sometime in the middle of the game and was kind of iffy on his reps. Like, we just didn't know like when he was going to be in. Offensively, it was a pretty disappointing day too. Obviously, once DTR went out, you really didn't have, much hope of really getting anything done through the air. I wish that we had really anything good to say about this game. But really, DTR played well. The running game looked good when they used it. And other than that, there wasn't really much to talk about for this game in terms of positives for the Browns, considering, now that DTR is hurt, Miles is hurt. It was a bad game for basically any kind of discussion in regards to like positives.
Yeah, there was a lot of negative. So the defense, and I said this going into the game, the defense has this, for whatever reason, they don't start playing well usually until they give up that opening drive touchdown. And they went down, the Broncos went down and scored on the opening drive after the Browns went 3 and out. And I tagged Casey and Jake. We did the pregame show last week. I tagged them on Twitter and was like, there's that opening drive touchdown. They go. Then they sort of like, all right, we get smacked in the mouth. And then, all right, let's go. And then they were down 14-0. Then they played a little bit better. And then the offense at first wasn't doing much. And then DTR started to pick it up a little bit. He was making throws. He was making good decisions. And then he gets popped in his face. And, he might be out this week. And so that's disappointing. And then after that, the offense just was really nothing. And we knew that with PJ Walker, even though he won us, a couple games this year. But that was not the case this week. Mile High is hard to play in. The altitude is no joke. And shout out to Denver because they have won 5 straight now. They have been playing good football. They were 1-5 at one point, and now they're right in the thick of the playoff race. So shout out to them. They were the better team that day. It sucks, and I hated every second of it. But this is the NFL. Like, you can't win every game, and going on the road like that didn't work out.
Yeah, another takeaway for me is just, you almost wonder if Denver's got a Bounty Gate 2.0 going on over there with Sean Payton, because, dude, some of these hits, it reminds me of the old New Orleans Saints teams. I mean, Baron Browning launching at DTR. You people can justify it however they want. I mean, he launched at DTR you also have the fact that Kareem Jackson, that dude's been suspended multiple times for hits throughout the entire season. And you're just seeing other players too. I mean,
Amari.
even his replacement, yeah. These guys are making the same types of plays. Like, so I almost wonder if there's something going on over there. I mean, we probably won't know, but that's very suspicious. Now the quarterback issue, guys. So DTR's in concussion protocol. You have PJ Walker and you have Joe Flacco. Kevin Stefanski announced that Joe Flacco will be the backup this week, and it sounds like if DTR does not clear concussion protocol, Joe Flacco will be starting on Sunday. But the question I want to bring to you guys is, even if DTR does clear protocol, do you think he should play if he doesn't practice all week? Because that's an interesting conversation, because Kevin Stefanski has not answered that question. He was asked that, and he said, we'll just see how he progresses through protocol. So do you guys start Joe Flacco no matter what this week, or if DTR can go, you're starting DTR?
I think it depends on when he clears protocol. Like, if he clears protocol tomorrow, I think like maybe they give it a shot with him, just because he'll have like a good 3 days of being able to like get game rep or some reps in practice and get. I mean, he's been following the game plan, I think, the entire time. So I think they have pretty decent confidence that they can get him ready in the last couple of days of that practice session. But yeah, I mean, if it turns out to be like a Friday or a Saturday and then he gets cleared to play, I don't think that they should feel comfortable putting him in that situation. Just because, you don't want to rush him back from concussion protocol straight into a game, especially when he doesn't have all the reps in practice and obviously, I don't know if they're going to be, changing the game plan a lot for Los Angeles or not. But I think, if you have Joe Flacco there right now taking the QB1 reps, I think you just ride with him if DTR can't get in there probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to do in this. If it were me, I probably wouldn't bring DTR back. So I'd probably just start Flacco and roll with it, because concussions are scary. They can linger for a long, long time, and I don't want to see this kid have his career ended before it could even get started. And I think like you said, Jack, if he's cleared tomorrow, okay, you can get him back practicing Friday, walk through Saturday, play on Sunday. All right, cool. But if it's not tomorrow, then I don't think you should play him at all. And if it's Flacco, it's Flacco. Like, he's not going to be Baltimore Joe Flacco. He's probably not even going to be Jets against the Browns Joe Flacco. But he's a solid backup. And as we've been saying ad nauseum for the past, I don't know how many weeks now, as long as the quarterback play is above average or as close to average as possible and limits the turnovers and helps with the field position, then it doesn't matter. But we have the defense usually to rely on. They're going to be asked big time again, even with or without Myles Garrett this week, something he shouldn't play or not. And we'll talk about him in a minute. But if it's Joe Flacco, it's Joe Flacco. I'm not going to go in the game like, oh, yeah, we got Flacco, we're good. We still got a defense. With or without Myles Garrett, that's one thing. So we got a defense that can keep in it, and Flacco, it has enough veteran presence to keep them afloat.
I think for me personally, it'd be great to have DTR, but if DTR doesn't practice tomorrow, I don't even care if he practices Friday. I think I'm rolling with Joe Flacco. I think DTR needs as many practice reps as possible, and putting him in against one of the best defensive players in the NFL and Aaron Donald, I don't think there's a reason to rush DTR back. Now that brings up a two-part to this question. One, do you guys trust Joe Flacco is good enough on basically not being here for a week in order to? Do you think he's good enough at this point, knows the playbook enough to win this game on Sunday? And two, what do you guys do moving forward at quarterback? Is it week to week? If Flacco does well, are you rolling with Flacco? Do you go back to DTR? How do you think they're going to end up playing this moving forward? Do you think it is like if Flacco starts Sunday, is it going to be Flacco the rest of the year, barring an injury, or what do you guys think?
I mean, I would think that if he plays next week, if he plays very well, I would think that they probably just roll with him the rest of the way, barring, just a really bad performance. I think that if he plays, around average or not, they might, consider saying let's go one more game with DTR and just see what we have against the Jaguars. But I think that if he does come out and they play well and like he's able to just run the offense, I think that it's very likely that Joe Flacco will just take complete control of the offense, and it'll just be his offense for the rest of for at least for the foreseeable future, barring anything, any terrible performance.
I really have no idea what to think with the Browns quarterback situation at all for this whole season. At first, come into it, yeah, Deshaun's back, he's going to be great, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Well, the first game he sucks, but the Browns still win by 24. Second game, probably one of his best games in a Browns uniform. And then, oh, hey, sorry, you're hurt, Or not second game, sorry, third game. Second game, it was disastrous from the start. Third game is Tennessee. And then we have P.J. Walker, and we have DTR on short notice. And then we have DTR in a game the week prior, and no one gave him a chance against the Steelers. So it's up in the air. Like it really could be. It could be Flacco this week, DTR next week, Flacco the week after that. I have no idea. It's that crazy of a situation, and a lot of people want to at the time, like in hindsight, the Josh Dobbs trade is bad, but he just went out and played horribly on Monday Night Football and lost to the Bears. So it's all about the matchups and who you play. And I think Flacco could be good enough. And like you said, Jack, if he goes out there and plays well, if he throws for 250 plus and a couple of touchdowns and doesn't throw a pick, you just got to roll with him until that doesn't happen anymore.
I mean, if he throws like 201 touchdown and doesn't throw a pick, I think the Browns might feel more comfortable because honestly, that's basically all they need for the most part is just, rely on the run game a bit, have enough talent to, take advantage of, any zone coverages and just get the easy stuff to your playmakers and let them make plays. And I mean, really, that's all that they've really asked of their quarterbacks at this point since Deshaun's gone out is just don't make mistakes, get the balls to the playmakers and just let them do their thing. And other than that, just rely on the run game. And you don't have to throw for like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. You just have to be serviceable.
Exactly. And I'm seeing this comment here. Flacco might not be good. Probably should slow our roll over there. There's a good chance he's still the best quarterback on this roster. Yeah. And that's not that's
same.
Gosh, I don't know if that's saying much, but the point is, even with him not playing all year, he still might probably be the best quarterback we have on our roster. So, I mean, I'm going with it. I think, too, what he brings is leadership. This is a guy that's won. He's won a Super Bowl. Like, you have that voice now. Mm-hmm. You have that voice. Players are going to respect a guy like this that comes in. And you know what? He probably isn't going to light it up right away. And you know what he's going to be? Oh, that terrible R word. He's going to be rusty. He's going to be rusty. The dude hasn't played football all stinking year, and we're expecting him to come out and try and win us some football games, most likely on Sunday, But at the same time, you saw how the players talked about even the possibility of bringing him in. I mean, they were excited to bring in a guy like this. And I think it's honestly, it's going to galvanize this offense. It's something that really needs to happen. And think about it this way, too. Kevin Stefanski, the way he's been playing this year has really been new to Kevin Stefanski. He's used to the Shanahan-Kubiak system. You know what you can run with Joe Flacco? The Shannon-Kubiak system, because my man can't move. He's not a mobile quarterback. So it's going to be more comfortable for Kevin Stefanski as well.
And I mean, the thing is that he's also just an experienced quarterback. I mean, he's a veteran. He's been in situations like this before. I mean, he was on the Jets last year, and I mean, the Jets were pretty horrendous last year too, and he was still able to find success as the quarterback for that team. So I mean, you bring him in here, and I mean, we're not expecting him to light the world on fire. We're expecting him just to take the guys that we got, just play to the best of his potential and just not make any massive mistakes that lose us football games. We're essentially just asking him not to lose us football games on his own.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought Kevin Stefanski up because someone said in the comments earlier, they won a game with P.J. Walker at quarterback. In fact, they won 2 of them with him being the quarterback. And that's not because the other team was just garbage. It's because Kevin Stefanski was a great coach in those situations and coached them up. And you can question his play calling from last week. Yeah, it was questionable at best. In the damn reverse, I'm tired of it. I've been tired of it for, I don't know, whenever I first started coming on your guys' show, I've been tired of it. So it's been 6-7 weeks now. Quit running it, please. For the love of God, just please quit running it. It doesn't work. It doesn't get a success. But other than that, he was calling a decently good game up until DTR's injury. because the Browns were starting to get a little bit of momentum and come back, and then boom, we got smacked in the face, and that was that. But yeah, Flacco is he's not gonna. If he lights up the world, great. We're playing on house money with him basically. If he does great, wonderful. As long as he doesn't lose the game, like Jack said, you can't ask for anything. If he doesn't throw a crucial pick and he gets them in field position, he doesn't have to get them even deep in field position because we have a kicker now. So we'll see what happens. I'm sort of excited for it, actually, just because why the hell not?
Yeah.
We're at that point. We're at that point where it's just, you know what? Let's just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
No, dude, exactly. And as we're moving on, the Browns are staying on the West Coast. They are taking on the LA Rams this week. The injury report just Myles Garrett has a shoulder injury. It sounds like he is going to play through this injury. He has a shoulder. Amari Cooper has a rib injury. That sounds like he's going to play through, but obviously that's incredibly painful. Also not practicing Kareem Hunt. Marquise Goodwin still in concussion protocol, which is very concerning with Goodwin.
Yeah.
David Njoku didn't practice. Who else? Wyatt Teller due to a calf. Obviously, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is in concussion protocol. Juan Thornhill due to a calf. Denzel Ward still not practicing. Guys, I have to ask you this. At some point, like, don't get me we're pretty positive, I would say, on this show. Yeah. But at some point, can injuries just be too much to overcome? As many injuries as this team is sustaining week by week. And let's remind you, there's no bye week. The Browns are going to play 5 games in about 25 days coming up here over the next couple weeks. So is there a point where these injuries just become impossible to overcome?
Yeah. There's always that factor with every NFL team. Injuries suck. They happen every year. We've seen a handful of quarterbacks go down this year, including our own. A couple of them now, actually. But some of these guys for the year. And, like, some of the premier names, like Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, boom, done for the – well, Aaron Rodgers might come back. That's a weird situation. But, yeah, injuries can be. But at the same time, I think that's why I'm a little bit excited about this game because we've seen this team fight all year, fighting almost every single game they've been in. And a lot of times that's led to wins. And I'm excited to see how they bounce back. All these injuries, that's a lot more adversity. And if they find a way to win this again, then I'll be back up on my soapbox next week saying Kevin Stefanski's in the Coach of the Year discussion because all these injuries. That's not even listing who we've already had out, Tyler. That's all the guys that just came on this week or the past 2 weeks on the injury list. And that's a who's who of names on this roster. I'm hoping most of them play. I'm hoping Ward gets back. But they've always been best or next man up. So let's see if that can happen. And hopefully we don't have to have that happen too much. We've done a decent job on the offensive line, but absolutely injuries can derail this whole thing. And we are like 2 injuries away from this thing going completely south. And we have a lot of arguments on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is a point when, the injuries are just too much to handle. I mean, I think a lot of people might think that offensively we're kind of close just because of the fact that, I mean, our offense has been absolutely just terrible the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's difficult to try to keep your offense, productive when you're missing obviously your starting quarterback, your number 1 running back, your right tackle goes out, your left tackle goes out, your wide receivers hurt now. I mean, like, there's just a lot of different aspects of where it's like, yeah, your offense just might not be able to consistently produce when everyone is hurt, when you're constantly moving guys around on the line, when the targets that your quarterback, who is also in flux every week, it seems, are, injured or not capable of producing the way that they should be. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people think that the injuries at this point are almost too much to come back from for the offense. At least the defense, I think the defense has a decent amount of depth. They might be able to survive some injuries to some key guys. I think Myles Garrett might be a bit too difficult to replace, obviously, if he was to go out for any extended period of time. But I do think that they'd at least find some success. It would be a drop off, but not like they wouldn't completely collapse. But yeah, I think that if anything, I think this team has shown that they do have the ability to overcome the adversity that is from these injuries and kind of roll with the punches and kind of just keep keep their head up. And if anything, it's almost like they're all playing with house money, that they all believe that they can win. And, doesn't matter who's in there, doesn't matter, who's healthy. If you're healthy enough to play, you're healthy enough to be out there, they're going to be out there. They're going to be fighting for each other. And I think that they're going to keep doing that until they're told that they can't anymore towards the end of the season, or maybe during the playoffs or after the playoffs or something like that. Because I think that as long as they can play and as long as they can keep fighting, they're going to keep fighting every single game. So
yeah.
I think unless it's like severe injuries, like to a huge group of people at the same time, really probably back-to-back games, I don't think that this team is gonna quit anytime soon, or we're going to see a huge collapse of the defense or anything like that.
No, yeah, man, I would agree with that. I'm not kidding, with just all these players dropping, you have to wonder how much can this team sustain and just keep going on and on and on. Excuse me, because at some point, man, you lose so much talent. It don't even matter how good of a coach you are. I mean, at some point you lose so much talent, it just becomes impossible to overcome. So hopefully Miles can end up getting through the season. Denzel comes back. You can at least Amari can get somewhat healthier, which he might. Man, rib injuries, man, can linger all year.
They
suck. Especially for a wide receiver. It's definitely not ideal. But they are taking on a Rams team, guys, that absolutely destroyed Arizona. Now, again, Arizona's not that good, but they got back a key piece of their offense in Kyren Williams, who had well over 200 total yards on Sunday. It's not been Cooper Kupp. It's not been Puka Nacua. It's not been Tyler Higbee, Tutu Atwell. The guy that's made this offense go all year is Kyren Williams. So how concerned are you with the Browns' ability to stop him, given the fact that the last couple of weeks, the Browns' defense has gotten gashed on the ground?
It's definitely concerning because obviously, yeah, like you said, their rushing defense has just not been very good. The Broncos, I think, were one of the worst rushing offenses, and they were just they were gashing us at will, and that was without Javonte for at least a little bit because I think he went out with an injury. It's definitely concerning. I'm curious exactly what the issue was, what the scheme was allowing the Broncos to get away with, was allowing even the Steelers to get away with. The Steelers were rushing pretty decently, at least in spots with Jaylen Warren. And I think that the main thing about Kyren Williams that's really terrifying is the fact that he's kind of like an Alvin Kamara CMC like player, where not only is he extremely elusive and he's a tough runner, he's also really, really efficient in the passing game. So it's kind of like you have to defend against both aspects of that game alongside guys like Puka Nacua and of course Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee. They have really good weapons, but Kyren Williams is kind of like that playmaker on both sides, where you're going to need to keep a guy basically watching him every single play, just because of not only is he out there a lot, he's out there for 90 or 85% of the snaps. He plays basically the whole game. But you're going to have to, watch him every play and just, make sure that you know where he is, because he always has a chance to really, damage you on both the pass game and the rush game.
And that player is JOK.
Yeah,
I think that's who you put on him, because normally we have that for the quarterback, especially like a Lamar Jackson, who will definitely beat you with his legs just as much as he can with his arms. But here it's not. Stafford's not like that. Stafford's going to get the ball out quickly and to his guys. But Kyren Williams is that X factor, and I think you put JOK on him because JOK has the speed to get up to him, and he played tremendous last week. That was a bright spot that we didn't touch on earlier. JOK played one of the best games he's played since he's been in Cleveland, since he's been drafted here. 52nd overall or whatever the number was, 52nd, I think. But that was one of his best games. I think he builds off that. So if we don't have Myles Garrett, that's obviously concerning. But Kyren Williams does, even if with JOK spying on him, he does concern me as well. Javonte Williams last week, I started him on my fantasy team. I was like, man, the Browns just sometimes give up these big, long plays to running backs for whatever reason. We saw the Jaylen Warren play the week before for 70 whatever yards. And then I was like, okay. And he was injured a little bit in that game. But Kyren Williams is definitely one of those guys that I'm just like, oh, you guys better game. The guy on your screen that you're seeing right now, Jim Schwartz, you better have a good game plan for him. And that's also you have to play a good game plan against everyone else that's on the roster. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't care what his numbers say. And that's what someone on the Browns said today. I can't remember who exactly it was right now. But that JOK and Kyron Williams matchup, I think, is the key to this whole game on Sunday.
No, I absolutely agree with that, guys. And that brings us, of course, to our weekly picks. First off, I will give Zach. Zach has the Rams winning this game on Sunday. He has them winning by a score of 24-13. Yeah, so I believe I was the only one last week to pick the Broncos. Unfortunately, I ended up being correct on that one. I really didn't. I was hoping reverse psychology would work again, but it didn't. Jack, you're up first. Who do you got in this game?
All right. Well, so one of the main stats, obviously, like we're talking about, the pass game and the rush game. The main thing that I'm focusing on is the pass game, because right now the Rams have kind of the similar situation as us, where they have a very slow guy at quarterback who can't move. I think that this is a good chance to get pressure on Matt Stafford. He might get sacked a lot this game, especially if Miles is feeling well enough to play and he has full strength in his arm. I think that the Browns defensive line is good enough to, at least minimize some of the big plays from Kyron Williams and get to the quarterback. And also the Rams are a pretty one of the top, I think 7 teams in the league in terms of turnover margin. They give up about 1 a game, which, I mean, if the Browns can capitalize on those turnovers, if they can get a big one, get a strip sack, something like that, and set themselves up for good field position, I think that the corners are good enough to take down Cooper Kupp, he's had really bad injury luck. Puka Nakua's had kind of inconsistency through the last couple of games. It's really been going through Kyron. So if they can limit Kyron, get to the quarterback, and force turnovers, which Matt Stafford and the Rams are prone to do, I think the Browns can take this. I think they do 17-16.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be similar to the Steelers. I thought it was going to be the same thing last week with the Broncos, but the Broncos were just too good and they were just better that day. They were just completely. Their offense was better than the Browns' defense most of the time, and their defense was better than the Browns' offense, especially when DTR got hurt. So it comes down to what can you get from your quarterback for the Browns. Again, all we've been asking for all season, even with Deshaun Watson here, outside of the beginning of the season, get us average quarterback play, and we'll be okay. We can move the ball downfield. We've seen it. We've seen a whole new offensive line than what we're used to, all different times this year. And shout out to what's his face, Garen Christian, because he is filled in admirably. DeJuan Jones in his rookie role has filled in admirably, and then he was hurt, but he's filled in great. So I think it comes down to the Browns defense. Do they want it enough? Because if Myles Garrett goes out there and plays, I think, like you said, Jack, there's a sack party coming, because they're going to be like, what did you say earlier? Galvanized? Is that the word? Yeah. You said galvanized. They're going to be galvanized. Okay, this dude's playing with us. He's in Defensive Player of the Year talks. He's in MVP talks, according to some people, myself included. They're going to galvanize around that and be like, all right, let's go out there. That's not who we were last week. You know, 29 points. We don't do that. Let's go show people why we don't do that. So I got the Browns winning. I had also had 17, and I'll go 13, 17-13.
All right. I'm picking the Browns this week as well. You know why? Kevin Stefanski's record after a loss.
Well, actually,
Kevin Stefanski's record after a loss is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what it is, but one thing he also deserves credit for is that he does not lose a lot of games back to back. And I think that is something that really people don't talk about enough. It's going to be a very low-scoring game, I feel like. I do have the Browns 20-17 in this game. It's going to be close. I think, though, Flacco can do enough. I don't need him to do anything special. He's going to do enough, though. Don't run the ball, obviously, at Aaron Donald. And I think you'll be okay. I don't know what to expect from Miles, to be honest with you. I mean, we saw him against Denver. If that's what we're going to get moving forward, it's concerning. But maybe even if you cut his reps in half and he can still give you as close to 100% as possible when he is in, I think that's going to end up being enough. So I got the Browns this week. So now I'll read Zach's picks real quick. He's 33-15 on the year. He got the 49ers over the Eagles. He's got the Texans over the Broncos. He's got the Jags over the Bengals. All right, Jack, you're up, my friend.
Well, I'm 22 and 26. I've had a rough go, man. I've had a rough couple of weeks. I was getting back to 500, and then I've just had terrible predictions. I'm gonna take the Dolphins over the Commanders.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Colts over the Titans.
All right. I'm gonna take the Cowboys over the Seahawks in what should be a very, very good game on Thursday night. But I just think right now, hey man, credit where it's due. Dallas is humming right now. That Dallas offense is absolutely on fire. So I got the Cowboys.
Dak's MVP.
Right now, it's him and Jalen Hurts.
Well, speaking of Jalen Hurts, I'm gonna go ahead and take the rematch, the NFC Championship rematch. I'm gonna take the 49ers over the Eagles.
You and Zach both did that.
Oh, did we both?
Yeah, you did. So I'm going the opposite. I think Philly keeps rolling. That was an impressive win last week in overtime. I think they keep. I like watching Philly play at times because some things they do, I'm just like, okay, wow, that's
yeah.
Okay. And it's just
impressive.
like watching Jalen Hurts is fun. I'm just like, okay, like if they're on TV, I'm going to watch them. So I'm taking them because you guys are picking against them.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. So my next one, I'm gonna stick within the AFC North here. I got Pittsburgh over Arizona.
I hate that they get to play them this week. I hate it.
I do too. It's very frustrating. But somehow get lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, everyone in the AFC North gets to play them this year, but yeah, that's they would get him at home though too.
Of course.
Final game. I guess I'll take the Chiefs over the Packers.
I'm gonna go Texans over Broncos.
All right.
The Browns will have helped them avenge the loss to us, but since we sent them one of the first round picks that they used to.
True. And then they have to lose to us later.
Correct.
And then the final one, I have the Fighting Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah.
At home against Carolina.
Versus the Reckless Panthers.
Huh?
The Reckless Panthers.
Hey man, they could get the bounce, the boost after losing their coach. So
I doubt it. Not this team.
We'll see what happens. After what Jake Tapper said, or whatever his name is.
Jake Tapper.
What's his name? What's
the
owner of the
CNN?
No, what's the name of the freaking Panthers owner? I don't
remember.
Dave
Tepper.
Tepper, there it is. Yeah, Dave Tepper. After what he said, I don't know, dude.
He sounds like a moron. First off,
that situation does not look good at all.
He sounds like a complete moron in front of the entire world.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, why would you say the things you say about your quarterback that you already took first? Like, what are we doing?
He's going to take C.J. Stroud and realize he should have, and then that was going to be our pick, and we thought the Texans were going to take Bryce Young. You picked it. You chose.
I don't know, man.
They're a mess.
I don't know.
They're a mess. There's no doubt about that. Jack, you know what's not a mess? Is anything that you order from Homage.
God, that's so true. I think you can all see how clean and nice and sick all of our Homage gear is. Obviously, me and Tyler planned this. We planned to wear the exact same, the same designed. But it's a good example of just the fact that you basically can get any design, any style on any of your long sleeves, t-shirts, hoodies, pullovers, anything that you want. You can get any of their awesome designs for any of your favorite teams, whether it's Browns, the Cavs, the Guardians. And if you were at the stadium last week, I know I talked about it, but again, they just keep having these crossovers with the Browns, showing you that, they know it's good quality stuff. They want you to wear it. They want to put it next to all the stuff that they have in their team shop because they know it's high quality stuff that you're going to want to buy, whether it's pop culture stuff, whether it's crossover stuff, anything you'd like. This is probably the best place to go and get stuff for Christmas because not only do they have those 6 starter jackets, not only do they have all of that sick new merch, they have stuff that you can basically send to anyone in your family, no matter what team they root for. You have a plethora of options for them. And if you go ahead and you go to our Twitter account, or if you click the link that they put in the description, you can go ahead, get there. It helps support us. And plus, they might have some last second, Black Friday deals. If you're getting this in there, like even though it's a week later, they might still have some stuff going on. And it's all super, comfortable, high quality stuff that helps support your team, helps support your city, helps support Network 216, and we really appreciate you.
Absolutely fantastic. You got more.
We love homage.
More compliments there for you, Jay.
I also need someone from this network who speaks to homage on behalf of us to see if we can get some NFL beanies. Because I'm going to order one of the actual. They have beanies, like they're the homage beanies, and I'm going to order one when I do my Christmas order because they look so comfortable, and I need some NFL ones. So if someone can talk to them on our behalf, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know because maybe that's something they do in the future. I don't know if they actually have any of those.
They don't have. It does have plain beanies. They're all different colors, like black and red. And
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they don't have. That's something. I mean, of course, we can suggest to them. I'm kind of surprised they don't have something like that. But yeah, so far the only beanies that I've ever seen from them are just like what you said, plain colors.
And they look those look comfortable because everything that we've owned from Homage, we can all say this. This is all comfortable. Your guys are all wearing hoodies. I'm wearing a hoodie. Very comfortable. Do I have an Amish shirt?
Absolutely.
No, I don't have an Amish shirt on me. But I thought I did. I do not. But I do have this hoodie, and the hats look comfortable. So I need some NFL ones too. But I'm definitely getting a black one from Homage. Maybe even a red one too.
No, I love it, man. Absolutely love it, guys. As a reminder, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are brand new to Network 216 on the push for 3,000 subscribers. At 10 o'clock tonight, we do have the Dog Chug. They will be back, so want to make sure that you tune in for that. They'll provide you with all the laughs and humor you need, especially after a hard week for Ohio sports teams. You want to make sure that you tune in for that. Also, we will be back with your Browns versus Rams pregame show on Sunday. The time is to be determined on that, but we will obviously let you guys know what time that show will be. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of the Faithful Dogs podcast. We will talk to you guys all again next week. And as always, go Browns, baby.
Go Browns.
Like, comment, sub. Go Flacco, go.